And from The Office to the Pirates of the Caribbean, Wurzel Gummidge, for more than 2 decades, the actor and director Mackenzie Crook has been a familiar face on our screens.
He is also the creator and star of the BAFTA award-winning comedy series Detectorists. But from digging up treasure to delving into his imagination, he's written and illustrated his first book for adults, all about meeting his hero. And Mackenzie is here on the sofa with us now. Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
They say don't meet your heroes, but you've based a whole book on one particular hero of yours. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a strange picture book. You say it's for adults. It's sort of masquerading as a children's book, and it's an imaginary, it's a fantasy about meeting one of my musical heroes, Nick Drake, who actually sadly died 50 years ago this week. So it's just, yeah, it imagines someone. In fact, I've drawn my son Jude into the book. He opens the door one day to find Nick Drake standing there, and it's all just about spending quality time with sort of a ghost that you could never actually get to meet.
And we've blown up some of your beautiful illustrations as well around you, which must be quite strange to see.
Yes.
But Nick Drake means a huge amount to you in your life and your son's life as well.
Yes, when Jude was born 22 years ago, I had to do the early morning feed at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would always play him Nick Drake records, hoping that somehow through some sort of osmosis it would seep into him and he would become a great musician where I'm not. And it worked.
And it worked.
And he grew very tall as well. But yes, so he has become a big Nick Drake fan and aficionado and a great guitarist, so it worked.
What is it? You know, I understand kind of your history with Nick Drake, but what was it, what is it with the music that spoke to you so much?
It's so beautiful and lyrical. It's poetry put to music. He was an incredible guitarist. When I first heard it, I thought, right, I'm going to learn to play these songs on guitar, and I very soon realised that there's no way I could, because he was such an intricate and skilled guitarist. Yeah, it's beautiful, hypnotic, folky music.
If Nick Drake Came to My House is the book, but it was based, or not based, but inspired by a book from your own childhood.
Well, from my dad's childhood. It was a Sunday school book my dad got in 1946 called If Jesus Came to My House. And this is very much an homage to that book, and I've done the illustrations in the same 1940s sort of style, sort of block print style. Yes, and that was about a little boy who opens his door one day to find Jesus, also as a little boy who's come around to play, and it always bewitched me.
So Nick Drake is Jesus in your world.
Yeah, in this world he is.
What do you think about meeting your heroes?
I've met lots of people over the years. I don't think I've ever really been disappointed by those people that, I was, anticipating meeting. Yeah, I think it's fine. Meet your heroes.
That's really interesting, because I was just going to say, lots of people say never meet your heroes because you have this idea about what someone might be like. Yeah. But actually, that's the most positive way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been sorely disappointed by anyone.
I guess part of this book is you reconnecting with the past, isn't it? The past when you were with Jude as a baby, your past listening to music, Nick Drake as a child. And I guess that's what The Detectorists is about in a way as well, isn't it? Which is one of my favourite series ever. I think we've got a lovely clip of it here. Let's have a look.
Call it a day. Go on then. Switching off detectors in 5, 4, 3, 2... Hang on. What you got? Jumping around between 50 and 80. Probably just a shotty. Bloody hell. Look at that. It's a whistle.
That is lovely. Good job, mate.
What's that, military?
That's hawking whistle. A falconer would use that, call his bird back. Does it work?
Full of dirt, hang on.
Go on.
Such a beautiful moment in a beautiful, magical series. And that was inspired by some real-life detecting that you did, Mackenzie.
That happened. I found that whistle, and I was on my own, but yeah, it was full of mud. I poked out the mud with a piece of grass and blew it, and heard that sound, which, you know, hadn't been heard by anyone for centuries, you know, since it had been dropped. And you're right, this book is about meeting with a ghost. And that was the sound of a ghost that I heard, you know, that whistle. I had to give that whistle back to the farmer. He took a shine to that, so I just haven't got it anymore.
Am I right in thinking that when you have been filming Detectorists, you perhaps, you know, it's something that you learned as you went along, but now you actually love doing that yourself?
Yeah, I don't often get to go, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, but when I do, it's an incredible thing. It's, yeah, and when you uncover these things, you're communicating with the past. It's amazing.
And where do you go? Where are your favourite places?
Well, we shot Detectorists all around Suffolk, and I usually go there, connections and people that I've met in Suffolk when filming. So, yeah, the farmland around there, which is rich in history, all of, you know, East Anglia, that's where it all is.
We mentioned some of your brilliant work from The Office and Pirates of the Caribbean, but is The Detectorist, is that, in terms of TV work, is that your proudest achievement?
Well, because I wrote and directed it, yeah, it's really dear to me, yes. And people still seem to be discovering it, and there's still people coming up saying they just found it, and people have quite an emotional response to it. So
it's all on iPlayer.
Yeah,
it's still on iPlayer to watch. And didn't you say no to Pirates of the Caribbean 4, would it have been, because of filming Detectorists?
Yeah, I mean, they checked my availability, but I was, you know, about to start the second series, so it was a no-brainer, really. This is my baby.
And there's something magical about it, isn't there?
Thank you.
What is that?
I don't know. People have connected with it through, I don't know, it's hobbyists or, you know, people that get, you know, really obsessed by their niche hobbies. I don't know quite what it is, but
it's become a hobby of yours, as you've told us. What other quirky interests and hobbies do you have?
I have too many. I mean,
go on.
Lance in Detectorist says that he collects collections, and that's me, really.
Really? What do you collect?
Coins and books and, yeah, all sorts. I don't know what constitutes a collection, how many you need before it becomes a collection, but I have lots of mini collections all over.
And are your mini collections organised?
No, probably not.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, I'm probably an infuriating man to live with. Yeah.
And the whistle that we just so that went back to the farmer. You didn't get to keep that.
No.
But sometimes you can keep stuff if you go through the right processes.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, I found Roman gold a few years back, and that you have to declare things like that. It goes through a process, and it's offered to museums. If no one's interested, then it will come back to the finder. And yeah.
Did you get the gold back?
Yes, I got the gold back. Yeah. Nobody wanted it.
That's like a Pirates of the
I was just gonna
Caribbean
say the same
storyline.
thing.
All crosses over.
Pirate with gold. My goodness.
Add it to the collection somewhere in your own personal hoard. Mackenzie, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And the book looks great. It's called If Nick Drake Came to My House, and it's available now.
Thanks so much, Mackenzie. Great to talk to you.